Phee Smee Show with Manly Mark. Tuesday.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Almost July the dadgum 1st, isn't it?
I couldn't tell you. I don't keep up with the day of the week.
You can't? You don't know today is July the 1st?
No, I don't know. I know the day of the week, but I don't ever know the day of the month unless, like, my phone stops working and I think, oh, I gotta pay my phone bill.
Wow. Well, my brother's birthday was yesterday. He's been passed away now. It'll be 2 years this month. My mother be 2 years this month that she's passed away. My stepfather passed away in July.
Rip.
My father passed away in July. Everybody worries about Phee for the month of July.
So you're gonna die in the
You're gonna die. It's in the month of July.
Interesting, but I mean, it's not gonna be this July.
No.
But if it is, you folks are gonna see it on Watch Phee Live or Watch Phee Die.
At this point, I thought maybe it was last night when it was. I tossed and turned, hurt in such pain till 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't understand it more.
Well, what's going on, man?
Some days are better than others.
Well,
Shoulders, hips, back, knees. I had my good knee hurting last night about 4:30.
is it the weather?
I don't think
That's probably the government changing the atmospheric pressures, which are then like affecting your like surgery needs and stuff.
Well, that definitely could be it.
I mean,
yes.
I'm just teasing about that.
When the government changes the atmosphere, they normally don't call Phee.
Well, they don't call nobody except for, I don't know, whoever they're working for, but they definitely do that.
Oh, no question about that. There's no question about that, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist.
Well, that's not a conspiracy.
No, of course not. That they changed the atmosphere?
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're saying. Like the America's like earliest meteorologists in like the early 1900s said you could make it rain somewhere else by by doing it like doing a forest fire, making it like burning enough trees. And over here it's going to rain a little bit. So it's like even way back then they's like, okay, we can affect the weather patterns by, well, okay. Or you could talk about, did we change the atmosphere with all these nuclear tests we've done in the last 100 years? How many nuclear tests? But, I mean, so how many times do we go on podcast and I say something and you say, oh, hokey pokey. And then right after the podcast, I'll say, look at this, look at this, look at that. And you go, huh. This is one of those things in that cloud seeding, the government programs to manipulate the weather. It's actually going on. Admitted, anybody who just looks into it will be like, oh, I called those people crazy for saying that, but they are, man.
Well,
not to, just get off in that for any particular reason.
Oh, I believe that the government changes the atmosphere. I believe that there's a lot of Indians, Choctaw, that can make it rain through rain dances.
Now, I don't know about that being real.
I would tell you that that's real.
That might be demonic. I don't know.
Certainly not.
Well, what do you mean? Certainly not.
They're just dancing and praying.
Praying to
rain.
what? To who?
What
spirit?
The spirit of Yahweh, I'm hoping.
Well, but so how come they can pray to the spirit of Yahweh to bring down rain, but you can't, or I can't?
I don't know.
I'm not sitting here. I mean, I'm just saying.
I just don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about the rain dancing culture to know. I just brought it up.
Well, no, it's interesting though. But how come that? I mean, how would that not fall under I don't know, pagan?
Oh, I believe it would. I believe a meteorologist that told you 100 years ago that if we start a forest fire over here, it's going to rain over there was ahead of his time too.
Oh yeah. Or I mean, even before that, it was sacrifice your firstborn so it'll rain.
Yeah, well, I don't think I'd do that.
No, I wouldn't. Well, but if you lived back then, you might.
I don't think so.
I mean, I wouldn't either. I'd just get the heck out of there.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, no,
dancing and singing and praying to make it rain makes sense to me.
Yeah, but but think about our culture. That's an abhorrent thought in our culture. But if you lived in a time where it's like you literally saw it happen.
Well, you live in a culture now where they've killed 57 million babies.
Well, yeah, but it's not for the communal good of making it rain on our crops.
No, it's not. I hope
it's for self-seeking play. It's self-worship, man.
That's a rough house world.
Self-worship.
Well, Mark, did you have a good night last night? Doing a little rested?
Yeah, I suppose. Got to bed late, but
got to bed late.
Mm-hmm.
How'd the kids?
Oh, they're good. They're good. Just running around as always.
he seemed super excited to get away from him that one night where you took your wife to a concert. You said, just me and the woman, me and the woman.
Well, yeah.
Just got away from the kids, me and the woman.
Well, just because I don't know. I don't think we've had a night alone or a date
night.
alone. A date. Well, we have date nights. I mean, but date nights with baby Jib, my baby,
Yeah. Let me tell you something about Mark. Mark is one of the most romantic men that you would be around. He would, I guarantee you that a lot of ladies out there would be so excited and happy to have a husband or a boyfriend that was attentive as Mark is. It amazes me, some of the things that he tells me that he does on a regular basis. Is just, I mean, it's what every woman desires and wants when she's a young, dreaming of a man. And I can tell you that I'm a romantic too. I like romantic comedies, but I think Mark takes it to a different level. I mean, he is very, very caring, loving. Wouldn't you say, Mark?
Well, I mean, I would say that.
Yes, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would.
So, anyway, I'm sure his mother and his grandmother feel the same way as his wife does.
Yeah, they all feel the same way.
Yes, they do. Don't they? All love you.
They all love me.
That's exactly right. Well, in the news today, Mark, here it is, Tuesday, July the 1st.
Well, what's in the news? Give it to me, Phee.
Well, I don't have any idea. I slept till 8:47.
Well, I was trying to check.
Till 3:11. Supposed to have been here at 8. Mm-hmm. Sent me a text at 8:30. Then you give them a key and they don't get in. So no way to get in, no way to communicate.
I don't understand. What's
set the alarm, Phee? It's real easy.
Well, what's the deal with the key now? I told you, the key opens the door. It doesn't open the deadbolt. So what use is the key if the deadbolt's locked?
Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
I say
you would think that the key would work on the deadbolt, and
it does not.
The knob. So
I have tried.
There's definitely two keys instead of one.
When he gave it to me, he specifically said it doesn't work on the deadbolt.
That's because I was hoping you'd forget. I told you that.
Well, I remember. I am forgetful about objects, but I remember words.
Yes, you are forgetful about objects. Well, the last night, the House and the Senate.
Yeah, I saw some stuff going about that.
Yeah, they were trying to pass a bunch of bills.
Yeah.
And you had them, every senator or congressman from the state that they were from, they all had different problems with, especially Alaska.
Sure.
Can you imagine Alaska right over here, just miles away from Russia? The only reason we got Alaska was because of that, so... can you just imagine her signing up for Trump's plan with tariffs? With all that Alaskan fish.
Yeah, and that's silly.
Wildlife. So, but I think they'll get it done. They'll get it done probably July the 3rd.
You think so?
Well, July the 4th is Friday.
Well, sure.
Today's Tuesday.
Okay, I don't know. Don't keep track of any of that.
No, you don't care.
Oh, I mean, I care. I just
you don't care what day it is or what day of the month it is. You just want to know that it's sunshine.
Yeah, I'm just living, man. I mean,
living.
I know it's Tuesday, or whatever day, like I said, whatever day of the week, but I don't keep track of it. It's the 4th, 5th, 17th. Means I don't know. Irrelevant. Well, time's a construct. Keep us trapped in it.
Yes, I think time is your greatest enemy. It is also your greatest asset. I wonder today, with it being July the 4th, right before a holiday, make sure everybody's safe this weekend. Mark brought up last night or yesterday about fireworks as a young kid, and that was something that I really enjoyed being a kid. That and every July the 4th after I was married, we would go to my wife's in-laws, and I love those folks on a farm.
Yeah.
Country, we'd ride three-wheelers and fish.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Those three-wheelers are dangerous.
Three-wheelers in the pond. So we had a great time doing that. every single July 4th. It was Meemaw's birthday. So we would go.
Happy birthday, Meemaw.
Meemaw's passed away. But she still has a heavenly birthday.
Sure. Well, one thing I saved last night that I wanted to get into. We don't have to get off on a long discussion regarding it, but I just saw that, I guess RFK Jr. was on with Tucker Carlson. And RFK Jr. says the CDC covered up an internal study which found a 1,135% increase in autism risk from hepatitis B vaccine. Conspiracy theorists were right again.
Yes.
Interesting.
I'm right in your bandwagon, right in your wheelhouse.
Not that this is terminally ill, but here on the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark, we touch on a little bit of everything.
Hey.
I mean,
Terminally ill, Phee Smee show.
His kingdom's
coming. If I could wake up and premiere in the mirror.
It could honestly all just be one show under one name.
It could be. Yeah. It could be Phee Smee Network.
Yeah.
I like Phee Smee show with Manly Mark. I like it.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite one.
No, that's not my favorite one. My favorite one would just be Phee Smee.
Well, you got the Phee Smee Network.
Well, PheeSmee.com.
PheeSmee.com, at Phee Smee, at @Phee_Phee.
Every single Phee Smee out there. We got the Phee Smee video log. We got the Phee Smee marketplace. We got the Phee Smee everything.
We got Phee Smee ball caps.
But the ball
coming up.
We have Manly Mark ball caps. We've got them ordered anyway. They're coming in green and teal.
Come on, I like green.
I know you do. It's the color of money. And Mark, for some reason, likes a lot of zeros, don't you, Mark?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
What's that mean? I'm confused.
A lot of zeros?
Well, yeah, I mean.
If you put anything in front of it means it's a big number.
Well, yeah.
With a lot of zeros.
So you just say I like money?
No, I like big numbers.
Oh, I guess I like big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who likes small numbers?
I guess fools.
It's like asking yourself, would you rather have a Snickers or a Reese's?
Well, if I'm going for density, I guess I'm picking the Snickers. You get more. You feel like you had more with the Snickers. But as far as
Baby Ruth or Butterfinger?
Butterfinger.
Isn't Butterfinger a good candy bar?
Yeah, but they changed it.
I don't know why they would have ever changed it.
I don't know. It seems like a year or two ago, or a few years back.
I haven't had a Butterfinger in years, but I used to love Butterfinger.
I love them. I pick them apart, eat all that chocolate off, then eat the stuff in the middle.
How about the Almond Joy?
I like those.
And do you like the coconut Almond Joy?
I like that. Well, whichever one's not the dark chocolate. I'm not a fan of dark chocolate.
Well, Almond Joy's got nuts, mounds don't.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate and showy coconut oat.
Mm-hmm. I prefer that then.
Do you? Well, how about peanut M&Ms or regular?
Regular, but I do like peanut.
I'm a bigger fan of peanut M&Ms than I am.
Well, I mean, I am too.
I don't know why. I'm just not a big regular M&M guy, but I need peanut M&Ms all day long.
Come on.
JFK is younger. Is that a nephew of the JFK's? Robert?
Robert F. K. Jr.
Robert. Yeah, it's Robert's son, and Robert passed away after he died. Didn't he? He got killed after JFK.
Yeah, after JFK.
Yeah, that's the Wright brother. And then we had Teddy, which ended up being in Congress for many years.
Okay.
And he's Teddy Kennedy. So, and then you got the boys. So Robert Jr. is now 55 years old, I guess, or 60
I couldn't tell you. He's
old.
Probably in his 60s, but I don't quote me on that.
Immunizations. How many times on this show or the Phee Smee Network have we talked about immunizations?
Probably more than once.
So.
I mean,
I tell you what, we loaded up right here.
Sorry.
Maybe twice.
I don't know. I mean,
no, we have discussed it almost daily here with Mark. He just only listens out of his right ear, which is the other side of his left one.
Come on now.
No, but anyway, immunizations crushing the country, and the thyroid is just
they're filled with heavy metals.
Yeah.
Well, just hepatitis in of itself. what risk are most newborns at for hepatitis B?
Very little, unless they have some liver problems or some jaundice.
Sure. Well, I've heard jaundice is even inebriated. It's not the right word I'm looking for.
I hope not.
No, the vitamin K shot they give will increase the odds of jaundice. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, they do that in about the first
the first
8 hours or 6 hours or 8 minutes or 6 minutes.
Really
I mean,
quickly,
it's pretty quick.
really quickly.
Yeah, they knock that out real quick.
They go ahead and get the vitamin K, they get the Hep B, and then they'll circumcise them.
Yep.
And sell it to the beauty products people.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a market for foreskin facial creams.
Yeah. I know there's a market for Phee skin for sure, not foreskin, but 3 skin.
3 skin,
or 2 skin.
2 skin,
or Phee skin.
Well, or the Phee skin, huh?
Yeah,
well,
right.
All I'm telling you is they push that kind of barbaric practice because there's a market for the product.
There's a market for almost any product.
Well, it's
they harvest all kinds of organs. They do lots of crazy things in the name of delicacy. I mean, some of the things that people are eating these days and paying big money for them.
Oh, sure.
Crickets.
Oh, well, I think that's more of a psyop in the sense of, they're trying to get us all to eat bugs.
They are.
Because, you'll own nothing, you'll be happy,
Yeah.
You'll live in a 15-minute city.
I'm way ahead of them with my algae.
Well, yeah, but the only thing I don't understand about the algae is, and I don't know enough about it, is you can get all the vitamins and minerals you need, right? But if you don't have calories, where are the calories coming from? Do you just have to have so many of them that you just get enough calories from them, or do you still have to have another calorie source?
You would not.
I don't know. I mean, that's my only thought I've ever had about it.
It gives you the minerals, the vitamins. It gives you everything, the protein, the chlorophyll.
The carbohydrates?
The carbohydrates, I don't think you're going to get as much as you would if you were eating chocolate ice cream.
Well, no. I don't know, but can you live off just a mineral and vitamin diet?
Absolutely. You could live off of water and coconuts.
Well, I just didn't know.
There's a lot of things you could live without. What we don't live without is anything.
Well, no.
We get whatever we want, whenever we want it, however we want it, and it's all bad for you because they don't care what they're feeding us.
Sure, no. They treat us like farm animals because everything we eat is a derivative of corn. What do you feed farm animals? Corn, grains,
oats.
Well,
7 different types of grains.
Yeah, well, and that's most of, just about, I don't know, maybe just throw out numbers, 80-90% of our food, not 90, but is a derivative of corn. We're farm animals. We're cattle.
Bioengineering with wheat and corn are just crushing this country. And corn has no nutrients. No nutrients in it. And even when you remember, it's what you put into your body and what goes out of your body. So if your esophagus is very important from a opening. Your colon is very important for a closing, for it to go out. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able, when you intake food and it goes through your digestive system and then out your body, if you've got any type of problems that are causing toxins, they're going to affect over a long period of time. They're going to change and manipulate the systems that within your body. They just can't, whether you do it with long-term use with medicines, whether you do it with long-term use with alcohol, drugs, diet, it's going to change the chemistry of your body over the long term.
Sure.
So that's when we get into terminally ill, we will start talking constantly about diet, and people are going to get tired of it. I think people are so tired now. Every time they turn on that phone and start scrolling, to hear the same people say the same thing after going 30 years believing one thing.
Yeah.
They mentally condition you from 1970 to 2000, telling you this, and then all of a sudden at 2001, they tell you this to 2025. Nobody even cares. They don't believe them. They don't trust them. They don't listen to them.
Right.
It's just nothing more than verbiage, noise.
Yeah, I believe that.
So I don't think that they even pay attention. When you look at the ingredients of food on the back, it's very deceptive, very manipulative. I mean, what they're feeding us, chicken beaks.
Sure. Well,
and this processed meat, there's all kinds of stuff.
No, I would say, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is just what my intuition tells me is I don't mind eating mushed up chicken beaks and mushed up chicken feet because a nose to tail diet is good. Those things do have good things, but it's are they really that clean? It's the processing, the extra stuff they put in, the seed oils, the industrial engine lubricants, things like that.
The salt.
There are cultures who eat chicken's feet, and they're full of collagen and good things.
They don't even, the people in America don't even know what a chicken nugget is.
No, but that's the thing. Once you ultra processorize it, it's a spawn of Satan.
Well, they call it boneless wings.
Well, they're boneless. It's a rebrand of a chicken nugget. It's a
rebrand of chicken nugget.
It's good, but it's also no. They taste good, but the problem with it is it's just like they do taste good. You can't deny that. But the problem is it's kind of like how in society you have all the, I guess millennials are a real problem with it, but you've got these 30 and 40-year-olds who are still living childhoods in that they can't wait for the next comic book movie to come out. Now, I'm not hating on comic book movies because I love Star Wars, I love the comic Marvel movies. I'm kind of excited about the new Superman movie, but I don't make that my life, my identity. I don't hold on to those childhood things, and I think that's one of those things you just notice in society is they have to adultify child things in that, well, in the past it was, you want some wings? Yeah, man. Well, it just got bones in it. But now, boneless chicken wings. Well, we can't call them chicken nuggets because that makes me feel like a kid. We rebranded as boneless chicken wings. So
absolutely.
Adults,
you're just speaking truth.
Well, yeah, but adults live as children, perpetual children. It's arrested adolescence. I don't know what it,
Well, that's the age of people, a group of folks that you're in.
Yeah, I know it. But even I don't know. I don't want to misquote the Bible, but it says put childish things away when you grow up. And again, I like to indulge, sure, but I don't spend, when I was a kid, I used to spend sit in church and just think, man, if I was a Jedi, I'd do this and this would be the color of my lightsaber. And I just imagine all these fantasy scenarios where I'm going on cool adventures. But now I think, I can't wait to get home and plant my bushes. And if I'm eventually when I want to build a little barn, how am I going to do it? What's it going to look like? What's the perfect spot for it? How am I going to build it? I don't know how to build it, but I bet I can do it. I think about those things now. And so I just think, just a noticeable mark of our society is that, I don't even know the age group. I guess 30, 40 millennials are stuck in childhood, and society is catering to that by, not chicken nuggets, boneless chicken wings. I'm beating a dead horse. But
culture, man. I almost fell into a deep hypnotic state listening to the wise wisdom of
more power.
The boneless wings.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey, anybody's chicken nuggets but Phee. I've been trying to tell my kids since they was born, hey, look, we don't do boneless wings. We do chicken wings or chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
But to your point, I agree with you that a 30-year-olds probably need to do a little more growing up, maturing.
Sure, and I'm not judging. I'm not hating.
I'm 60, and so I can tell you that there's a lot of folks in my generation too that need to grow up.
Oh, sure.
And quit acting like that they're 20 and 15.
Well, and I'm not perfect myself.
Well,
but
no,
and people want
should have been here at 8.
And when you talk about these things, people always want to say you'll say something that just vaguely sounds like something they're doing or a situation they're in, and they automatically, well, I saw you in line for the Phineas and Ferb premiere. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not. Don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm just noticing the trends.
Trust me when I tell you, Phineas and Ferb.
You can't beat Phineas. Oh, man.
Phineas is, let me tell you something about my kids. They know some cartoons. I mean, Phineas and Ferb we were on that rascal.
I was on that rascal.
We were on that rascal.
They just came out with a new season.
Phineas?
Yeah,
and
well,
Ferb?
they haven't, because they stopped in, I don't know, 2017 or 18 or whatever.
Man.
But then they're coming making 2 new seasons now, because my kids watch it. That's the only reason I know. And
of
stuff,
course.
And stuff. But
yeah.
But they're back. Phineas and Ferb are back. And
Phineas and Ferb
I'm
back.
not. I mean, not to sound like here I am. I just went off on that long monologue.
He's so excited about Phineas and Ferb.
I got off on that long soapbox about society, and here I am getting excited about the.
No, don't
shoot the messenger.
Can you tell me the name of the mean doctor?
Doofenshmirtz, Heinz Doofenshmirtz.
There you go. That's amazing that you can do that.
It was on whenever I was young.
I like that show. I could watch it almost all day
it's
when I was
wholesome,
younger.
and they got good songs, man.
Well, I feel sorry for the girl.
Candace.
Yeah, Candace.
Allegedly is her name.
Allegedly, she's going crazy because those brothers.
Well, and that's what's. I hate that this is turning into Phineas and Ferb discussion, but that's what's interesting about the new season is because her and Dr. Doofenshmirtz are seeing a counselor, right? The same a shrink, and he's starting to put together like these two people. At first he's just like, oh, they're just both loony, crazy. Then he starts putting together the pieces like, oh well, Candace's platypus always goes missing, but then this old crazy doctor over here is always fighting his buddy, the platypus, and he's like, what? And then always talking about how, well, yeah, my brother's inventions always just disappear. And the guy, Dr. Doofenshmirtz was like, well, my naders just always randomly fire. And then, so it's like, they're getting deep, man. But we're not in Arrested Development here at the Phee Smee Network.
I'm here to tell you.
Let's move on.
We might have a Phee Smee party on Phineas and Ferb's return from 2017, an 8-year sabbatical for my mean men, Phineas and Ferb.
Well, and I hate it because it's like my wife just. Well, I love my wife, but she loves to steal joy in that. Listen.
Doesn't like Phineas and Ferb.
Well, no, she does, but it's just she knows she does it. But the kids will go to bed, and I'll just be kind of standing there at the edge of the room, kind of
watching Phineas.
Watching the episode, and the kids went to bed. What are you doing? Nothing.
Had to turn it off, didn't you?
Well, I don't have to, but it's just. Read between the lines. Are you watching cartoons?
If I read between the lines,
are you watching cartoons?
I would have turned the remote off too.
Well, just because it's like, well, now I can't enjoy watching it.
It makes you feel bad, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because it's like, well, you emasculated me. Well, I'm just sitting here trying to watch the cartoon.
Right.
Finally, let me turn on some Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. What do they call him? Doctors.
McSteamy, McDreamy. I don't know.
McSteamy.
Which don't be hating on it. I'm not hating.
You're not hating on anything, but
me and my wife still need to catch up on the new season. But
new season. Some people do that with our in Montana, Yellowstone.
I've never seen it. I don't watch a lot of TV, and I haven't in probably the last 10 years. But now, by virtue of just having kids, I'd watch
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb or Bluey or.
Trust me, I went with Barney for many years. That purple dinosaur, and
cold coffee.
It was rough house world for me.
Coffee's cold.
I can sing a whole lot of Barney songs for you though, and but then my youngest wasn't a Barney fan. My other 3 watched Barney, but she was not. So. Plus, my oldest is 9 years older than her.
Yeah.
So 9, it goes 9, 7, 5, and then my baby. So when my oldest was 9, 10 years old, there wasn't anybody else around there.
Sure.
But when you got a 15-year-old brother and a 13-year-old brother and an 11-year-old sister, and you're 6, you are watching different things than they did.
Sure.
When they were the same age.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guarantee you, your oldest isn't going to be watching the same thing as your youngest.
No, I mean,
because you're going to have them outside poking people's eyes out anyway.
Well, but now, but like when I was a kid, it was just. I wasn't that much younger than my oldest brother. My oldest brother's only 4 years older than me, but we were just watching what he was watching.
Right.
Dragon Ball Z. So, again, let's talk about something else.
Dragon Ball Z. That's an
It's I guess you could call it
animatronics type
anime.
deal,
No,
or
I
what?
guess you call it an anime, which I'm not an anime guy, so I can't say if it's specifically an anime or not. But it falls under the category anime. But I would say it was one of the. Well, I mean now anime is just popular, but it's one of the ones that became real popular in America. So it's like I guess people would say, oh, it's an anime, but I don't even consider it anime just because it's so inundated in American culture. Dragon Ball Z. Everyone knows Dragon Ball Z.
I knew Dragon Ball D pretty well.
Dragon Ball D?
Yeah, he was Dragon Ball Z's older brother.
Oh, well, Dragon Ball Z's older brother was just Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see? Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Okay, well, anyway, now we're do we have an adult cartoon fetish? Do you watch any of The Simpsons or
No, I don't watch much TV.
Some Meyer, what is it called?
Meyer?
Something Meyer.
Quagmire?
Well,
That's on some Family Guy show. No, I don't watch any of that. I mean, I like the show called King of the Hill, but
there you go, another one. Is that the one with the dog? Or is that
no, that's the one
Family
with
Guy?
No, that's Family Guy, I guess.
Okay.
There's King of the Hill's the one with Hank Hill, the propane salesman.
Right.
It's a little more, I don't know, bland, dry.
Yeah, a little more country.
Well, yeah, it's funny because there's an episode where I don't know, they go to Hot Springs, but they're in Arkansas, and they drive past a sign and it says, they got their windows down and they're relax, have a good time, and it says, drive past a sign, welcome to Hot Springs, boyhood home of Bill Clinton, and Hank, ooh, and rolls the window up and keeps on driving. But I mean, again, let's move on from cartoons because I just gave a monologue about how adults need to not be kids.
But you have a real enjoyment of cartoons.
but it's a thing where it's like, even like with video games, I can't find myself wasting an entire day losing myself in those kinds of things. And it's like, I don't know if it's because I don't enjoy them as much anymore or I feel my time is more valuable. I don't know what it is like. But I can sit down and play for 30, 40 minutes, get into it. But back when I was young, I could spend 12 hours just playing all day, not a care in the world. But now it's like in the back of my mind, I can't just immerse myself in it. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. But like I find the same thing with cartoons or this or that. I enjoy them, but I couldn't spend hours and hours and hours all day.
Well, you're doing that with scrolling.
Well, I do.
Before then.
I do that with information, yes.
Yes. Before then, you did it with, shows and cartoons, and but people tend to spend their time and energy on things that they are passionate about.
Oh, sure.
So if you're passionate about NASCAR, that's where you're going to spend your time and your money. And if you're passionate about the sports or the lake or hunting or whatever else, there's some people that they actually spend their weekends putting together jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah, I know it.
I mean, they sit in front of a TV and watch the television and put together jigsaw puzzles. That's their hobby.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not hating on anyone's hobby.
Somebody, a lot of them spend a lot of time in their yards, landscaping, and.
Now I enjoy that. Well, I say that I'm too indecisive. Like I'll let a plant sit on my porch for a month because I can't decide
where to plant it.
Like I've got a tree that's been on my porch. I bought 4 trees, oak trees to plant, and it took me a month to plant 3. It took me probably a month and a half, 2 months to plant 3 of them, and now I've got 1 more on my porch. I just can't decide the most perfect spot because it's going to be there forever. So it's like I've got to visualize where the best spot is.
The situation there is about timing. If you leave it on your front porch another 3 years, that's where
it'll die or it'll miss out on. Well, yeah, it'll miss out on its growing opportunity.
I would actually, if you'll let me pick the spot, it will be perfect.
Okay, well, come to my house, pick it.
I will be out there this afternoon about 3:30, and just to be able to watch him shovel.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to use a key or a deadbolt, but can shovel a dadgum tree, a big tree in the back.
I'm gonna fight this man.
Yeah.
I don't like waking a guy up. If I see on the TV,
Showtime, 12 minutes.
if I see on the TV that you're asleep, I just feel an inherent uncomfortableness with saying, I gotta go wake him up. I don't know.
I'd rather be late and not let the wonderful patrons of our Phee Smee network.
We do appreciate our patrons.
To show up and be, 18 minutes standing with nothing but a black screen and some little boxes with folks looking at dogs. There's a lot of people out there that really like my dogs better than they do me.
Who says that?
Well, there's Jerry for one.
Jerry, if you're listening, he's probably at work. Jerry, we always appreciate Jerry.
Y'all, SCMG,
Jerry, yeah.
Jessica, Jen, keyboard man. We got them all.
Yeah,
we got them all. The one I don't like real well is the Ponies of Steel.
Ponies of Steel, yeah.
That concerns me.
Yeah.
Especially since he's about 6'3". So I thought it maybe was a motorcycle gang.
No, maybe it's a guy who wants to be a motorcycle gang. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a guy that needs to braid his hair.
Well, I don't know, man.
And hope for the best. I was the best hair braider there was. I could braid a hair. I could French braid it. I could do anything with the hair braid. As long as the girl took notes in front of me, she got her hair braided.
Okay.
So I enjoyed the massages and the hair braiding. Why I did not have to do anything in school.
Sure.
You take the good with the bad with the Phee Smee.
Well, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Very nimble, very quick, very athletic, but just not very tall. See, you had to take the best, the good with the bad.
I hate it for you.
I mean, be 5'3" on a good day, and so it's a real hard.
Are you 5'3"? How tall are you, Phee?
I'll be 5'8" next year.
Okay.
Keep growing.
Okay, like for real?
No, I'm 5'8". They used to list me at 5'9.5" in the program. I get a kick out of it. Never had. I don't believe I was having boots.
Yeah, that's funny how they do that.
I actually have heard all my life that the older you get, the more you shrink.
Yeah, I believe it.
Especially with as many knee surgeries as I've had on my right knee. But every time I go into that doctor's office, they want to weigh me and do my height, and it's barefooted, 5'8", 68 inches. So I haven't lost any height, even with all these surgeries and my age, which I'd have told you my father was about 5'6" when I was young, and by the time I was older, he's probably 5'4".
Sure. Wow.
And my grandmother was 4'11". But my father was had a huge head and huge hands and huge feet, not long but just thick. I mean, his hands were twice as thick as mine. His feet were like size 8, but they were like big club feet. So I didn't get that thickness from him. But I got the height. So if I wouldn't have been able to run or jump, I'd have probably been playing the piano.
Come on, well, it's a shame you're not, because you can still be doing one of those things.
I'd still could be using one hand anyway.
Yeah. How are you drinking that? Oh, your coffee's probably not cold. I was sitting here thinking.
My coffee is hot. Yeah. And I poured your coffee because you didn't know how to open the deadbolt, and so it was like 8:57, and you needed a cup of coffee. So I ran in there and poured. Didn't even brush my teeth. I wanted to make sure you were the world's greatest dad.
You asked me if I wanted coffee, so
world's
I said
greatest dad, right there.
It's me. I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate coffee cups shaped like this, and I hate unaesthetically pleasing coffee cups.
Well, I broke the real rim of that when my oldest son was 2. He's 28.
Sure.
So that coffee cup is really, really old.
Oh, well.
I'd say it's, probably 26, 27 years old.
Congrats on being the world's
greatest dad. I have to at least 4 kids.
Sure.
I think every kid ought to thank his mom and dad until at least to a certain point.
Sure.
I hope that they're not before 4 and 5 years old thinking how sorry their parents are.
Yeah.
But at some point they do. Normally it's around 11 or 12. They figure out that their parents just aren't as perfect as they thought when they were 4 or 5 years old.
That makes sense.
And so
reality sets in.
Reality sets in, and hey, my mother, my father, they make mistakes. They're sinful people.
Sure.
They lie, they cheat, they steal. If they're bad parents, if they're good parents, they still make mistakes.
Right.
I think that's why people love being grandparents. It's almost like, hey, we get another chance, and we know we're not going to make the same
you
mistakes.
kind of get us relaxed.
Yeah. I thought, they always say, well, I like to keep them until they get tired, then I send them home. They don't do that. Those grandparents, they take care of them babies and grandbabies. They love those grandbabies.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have them. The problem with my kids, I just don't think they're exposed. 3 or 4 of them married without any kids. So, I would probably, got to change up the patterns.
Well, they've just been probably indoctrinated into society, into thinking that, well, we have to wait for this. We have to wait till we reach whatever milestones with our financial career, this or that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know them personally, so I can't just say. But I mean, I see that in general is people will get married and say, okay, well, let's put off this until we have enough money or have the house we want. And it's like, well, there's always always an ideal time, I guess, but.
Well, think about the culture, how it's changed just in 100 years.
Well, yeah.
Used to, people would marry at 14. They basically didn't know very many people. They didn't have a lot of transportation unless they lived in the city. So they pretty much got married to folks that they knew around where they lived.
Right.
Throughout the ages, I think the youngest lady or woman to ever be divorced was 10.
That's a little young.
She was married and divorced by the time she was 10. I think, to me, what culture is that? Because that, to me, is child abuse.
Well, it sounds like probably some Asian or Islamic culture. I couldn't guess.
But that is, I think that's the world's youngest divorce is at 10. Then they went from 14, 15. If you're 16 or 17 years old, you're an old maid.
Spinster.
Who wants to spend time with an old woman, 16-year-old woman?
Yeah.
And then back when I was growing up, they didn't want you to marry till you were 20. Get out of college and get you a good job, and get established and make some money, and they want you down in that 25 to 30 range.
Right.
So over just 100 years, you've gone from people getting married at 14 to people that they don't. 50% of women don't want to get married or have children.
Well, I mean, yeah, and look at the birth rate, the population. People worried about too much population. We're heading for a population implosion.
We are definitely baby down, baby light, and I don't like the fact that we're a procreation type of society and culture that relies on having sex in order to continue, not to become extinct.
Sure.
And then they take the sex and they turn it into demonic.
Yeah.
I actually read on, it was the day before last, it was Sunday, so today's Tuesday, that warm love is now a really a big deal with the young people. Warm love. Now, what, Phee, what is warm love?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Phee, what is warm love?
Phee, what is warm love?
Thank you, Mark, for the question. Warm love is a passionate, loving session of making love.
Okay.
Does that make sense that they would name and label a warm set? Means we're going to really spend time on a romantic,
I guess the implication
slow,
is
passionate.
Yeah, I guess the implication is that they're giving something, designating a special name for something that should be the norm. What that tells me is all their experiences that they're exposed and used to are casual. I don't want to say violent, but casual. Casual kind of umbrellas it, because you're not really thinking about passion and intimacy when in a casual encounter.
Well, when I did my 30-day deep dive into porn and AI companionship with the desensitization of the porn, everybody has got their own kinks. Basically, from the young ones to the old ones, and they're all different. But what you don't find is a very loving, a template of a loving, caring, romantic relationship that's long term.
Sure.
Used to, Hollywood would romanticize the man and woman being married and having kids, and these days they do not do that.
No.
It's more of man on man or woman on woman.
They want to destroy the family.
They're just trying to destroy the fabric over a long period of time. They're kind of like China. They play the long game.
Yeah.
So people just they kind of just make their own camp and blend in.
Right.
And then, excuse me, over a period of time, what happens is they become one of us. Mm-hmm. And then they can do whatever they want to as far as manipulation and.
Oh yeah, been going on for thousands of years. People slipping into societies, becoming essentially welcome into the community, then gaining control over key establishments within the society and twisting and turning it for their own perverted evil. I mean, you see it all throughout history.
If you have assets that people want, they tend to try to get them.
Oh yeah, they flock to it.
Yep,
they flock to it like stink on poo.
Oh.
You just notice it, man.
Like cold on ice.
Once you start noticing, you notice.
You got another one like cold on ice?
No,
like stink on poo.
Stink on poo's the only one I got.
You don't have any other? Come on now. Like cold on ice.
Like Phee Smee.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was as bad as I've ever heard.
Oh, come on now. It's branding.
I want to read the Inner Excellence again by Jim Murphy. I do it every time,
Is this gonna
every
apply
day.
To our life?
You do not like it. The fact that I am rooted in this book. I'm enjoying the obsession of myself.
Okay.
It's
how are you applying it to your life? It's going to benefit you.
I talked to my Zen master, and he says, in everyday life, 99% of it is self-centered.
Okay. Well, everyone's
99% of your thoughts are self-centered.
I'm the main character.
Your life.
I'm the main character in my movie.
In your movie.
Well, but Jesus owns the theater.
But Jesus owns the theater.
But I'm the main character.
Who makes the money on the concession stand? You're Jesus.
Well, it just depends on how I'm feeling, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the obsession with self is what I would call a real detriment to our culture.
Sure.
We need to start actually paying attention to what is beneficial to the people around us.
But let me ask you this: because I'm setting you up for
of course you are.
Destruction right now. Because what you're telling me is I need to go along with what is for the greater good.
Of you.
For the greater good, because it was get this shot, put the mask on. It's for the greater good, dude. I only say that because I know you're about to give me some actual actionable advice from this book that's probably really good, but just right when you said doing better for the whole, the community, my first thought is not communist. My first thought is, ooh, he's trying to get me to do something I don't actually, that's not good for my own self-interest.
That's right.
And so, I know you're not about to go down that hole.
No, I'm not doing it.
But when you start saying those words, I'm thinking, ooh.
That's where your mind goes.
Pay attention when you hear, oh, the greater good. It's for the greater good, or it's for the benefit of the whole. It's probably not for your own personal best interest. Now, in some instances, I'm sure.
I think in the case we were talking about, it would definitely be in your best interest.
Sure. I just,
but
don't let me interrupt again.
Earlier, you were talking about the church. You were in church, and you were having all these different types of thoughts.
Yeah, when I was a child.
Instead of listening to the message.
Yeah, that was when I was a child.
Okay, yes. When you were a child, you spoke like a child, but when you grew up, you put away childish things.
Sure.
Right. I like that. Mm-hmm. North Dallas 40 quote of a movie of the 70s.
Sure.
Football movie.
Okay,
anyway.
Come on.
So, anyway, you were talking about all of those thoughts you were having in church. That's why people do not know what you're thinking. Only you know what you're thinking,
sure.
And God knows what you're thinking.
Okay.
So you could be sitting there smiling, looking right at the pastor, thinking about what you...
being a Jedi warrior across the galaxy.
Being a Jedi warrior across or the reruns of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, you can still be actively looking the part without actually participating in.
Sure.
And that's what's going on right now throughout the world.
Okay.
We are so busy, we are hamsters on a wheel, that we are constantly doing something, but we're really not doing anything.
Right. Yeah, we're picking up a pile of rubble over here and moving it over here, and then we pick up the pile of rubble again and move it back over there.
Yes. I'd ask him to do that once.
Well, no, I wasn't even thinking about the boxes in your house. I was just thinking about they would do that to prisoners in World War II.
Yeah. Or they dig a hole.
Yeah, dig a hole and fill it back in and go there and dig a hole. Yeah.
And then so the next one would fill it back in.
Yeah, but the worst part is you just know you're not doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I've told my son over the last 3 years, it's painful joy for me.
Sure.
Can you imagine that my kids expected to bury me more than 3 years ago?
Sure.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
On May the 22nd, of 2022, they say a 20% chance to make it through the night. No way to make it 30 days. And 3 years later, my kids are still texting me and calling me and asking me how I'm doing. When I could have been dead 3 years ago, should have been dead 3 years ago.
Sure.
They would have completely, how many times a day do you think of your deceased people? Like my mother and my father. I might think about my mother and father once or twice a week. To where when my mother died, it was every day for a while.
Sure.
But 3 years, they might be thinking about me every once in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, when
something reminds them of it. So
spooky, man.
3 years that I could have been just gone, and they'd still be living.
Right.
And they'd still be enjoying life. They'd still be laughing.
Yeah.
They'd still be crying. They'd still be traveling. They'd still be going to the grocery store.
Come on now.
See?
I don't like it, Phee Bird.
I remember my father told me, he said, I was burying my daddy. And he said, I looked out there and there were cars on that road driving. And I thought, what's those folks driving when I'm burying my daddy?
Sure.
And he said, the folks was walking in the drugstore and walking in the grocery store and getting their gas and in their drive-through window. And he was like, what? These people don't know that my daddy, that I'm burying my daddy?
No, I have no idea. Don't even care.
They could care less. And most people spend all their time worrying about they. Well, they said this or they said that. What do you think they were going to think about this?
Sure.
Well, I don't like the way they talk about you.
Sure.
And in reality, they don't care about you 5 minutes after you die.
No, they don't.
They enjoy anybody that fails. They enjoy making their miserable lives feel better. And that's why they say misery loves company.
Oh, 100%.
But if in reality, if you step up to the plate and get ready to bat, you want to hit a home run, you want to get a hit, you want to win, you want to be a part of a winning team and a winning culture. So before we leave, I will get to read my one little paragraph that Mark does not want me to read because he knows.
Yeah, but go ahead and read, but Jessica just commented. Just saying good morning to you both. And I hope you all have a blessed and mental day.
Jessica, you ought to be at work, Jessica. If you're not at work, you've got real problems. Jessica works at the hospital, does all of my medical stuff, how I know Jessica, and she does a good job for me, going on 3 years. So I'm thankful that she's here today.
As always.
All right, Jessica, we're going to read The Battle for Your Heart. This is what's important. Again, I give all the credit to Jim Murphy, the New York Times bestseller of the book Inner Excellence. Again, Battle for Your Heart. I like this, Mark. I think you're going to like it.
Let's hear it.
Perhaps the question is not so much how to remove your fears, but what will you do with them? How do you manage your thoughts that lead to those fears? David Foster Wallace discusses our sea of thoughts. Remember a while ago we were talking about in church and all the thoughts we were having?
Yes.
Okay. I can remember having lots of playing. I played a lot of sports in church.
Yeah.
A lot of daydreaming. A lot of daydreaming. All right. As I'm sure you guys know by now, it is extremely difficult to stay alert and attentive instead of getting hypnotized by the constant monologue inside your own head. That is Mark right there.
Yes, that's me now.
Which may be happening right now, which it is to Mark right now. Teaching you how to think is actually shorthand for a much deeper, more serious idea. Learning how to think really means learning how to exercise some control over how and what you think. What do you think, Mark?
Sounds like someone wants to upload their mental.
Sounds like to me it's a little
mental programming,
mental manipulation.
But if it's manipulation to my benefit,
there you go.
But is there an underlying?
Are you creating positive habits?
Well, no.
It means being conscious and aware enough to choose what you pay attention to and choose how you construct meaning from the experience. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the idea is I pay attention to every single thought that enters my mind.
You do.
And so.
And then you discard them, or you ponder on them, because you are a ponder.
Well, no, that's the thing. I don't discard them.
Yes.
I don't discard any thought.
Well, here's a thought that you should discard. We will be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow, but you don't have to remember that. We're going to put it up on the board for you not to be able to forget. Remember, Manly Mark did this studio. He did this sound. He actually shows up early for work. He stays late. And believe it or not, he does not know how to use a key on a deadbolt. So, therefore, we will get him 2 keys, or we will not ever lock the deadbolt.
I'm breaking your window and crawling in tomorrow.
Or just pick up the phone. You know, it's not a hard concept.
I just hate talking on the phone. I hate talking on the phone.
You know, as good as Mark looks today with his pressed, ironed T-shirt from his wife, again, props to her, I am looking like I did my Phee Smee Live last night.
Well, you're a boomer in your house wearing a robe. What can I say?
You know, people don't like the robes. I like the robes. You know, I've got a lot of folks that say, I like the robes. But
how old
almost
are they?
8 out of 10 of them.
How old are they?
Over the age of 50. If you're over the age of 50, you like robes. If you're under the age of 50, do you sleep naked? You know, it's supposed to be healthier for you. My brother slept naked his whole life, and he slept naked with the TV on in his bedroom.
I don't like that. I think that's poison.
So I sleep in boxers, no shirt. I don't like to, or no pants. I don't like to turn. Jessica says, yeah, what's embarrassing about that? There's nothing embarrassing about it. If you want to sleep naked, it's very beneficial to your skin and your body.
Oh, yeah.
And Jessica says she sleeps naked. I don't understand why
people do.
Jessica would want to tell people that she sleeps naked, but she did. Fig Tree Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a great hour here at the Phee Smee Network. We look forward to seeing you again. We're going to do some podcasts today.
Yep.
We're going to get the man in the mirror ready to rock and roll today. And we're going to look forward to being back with you tonight at 8 o'clock tonight. Phee will be here at 8. I have basketball from 6 to 7:30. Be here at 8.
How come you always switch them up from 8 to 9 or 9 to 8?
I do not like to have them at 9 o'clock, but I can't do anything about it if I have basketball.
Well, I wish...
So 4 days a week. I would like to be able to be consistent on it every day of the week.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah, well, if this takes off, sorry, kids, Fee's going live at a consistent time.
Well, tonight I can go live...
8 o'clock?
At 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock.
I can do it just like I did last night. But consistently, I can't do it the same every night. Like, I eat with my son and daughter-in-law on Wednesday nights. Well, I get there about 7 o'clock. I leave it every time at 9.
Sure.
So I can't do it at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays unless I left early. On Tuesdays and Fridays, I do basketball. Saturday mornings, Sunday afternoons, I do basketball.
Sure, sure.
But on Tuesday nights and Friday nights, time changes. On Wednesday nights, We just need to do it later, and then I don't like to do it later any more than I like to do this show at noon.
Sure.
Because it splices up my day.
Yep.
I'd rather do it at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I couldn't get the boy out of bed at 6.
Easy for you to say when you just walk 10 steps.
That is true. And Mark lives an hour and a half from here, so he has to leave the house.
It might take me an hour and a half to get here.
Absolutely.
But I don't know.
It's amazing what the travel schedule you have.
I tell you what got me this morning. What got me, big thing that get me is my tire's flat every morning. Too lazy to go get it fixed, so I got to air up every morning. Well, it's typically only halfway deflated, so it doesn't take that long to air up, maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes at the most. Well, this morning it was deflated completely. So it took probably around 20 minutes to air up completely. So when I was trying to leave at 7:30 to get here at 8, now I'm leaving at 7:55 because tire took so long to air up. But then you'd think, well, Mark, just get your tire fixed. Or think before you walk out of the house to leave to air your tire up, like, hey, you make a pot of coffee, your coffee's brewing, air up your tire. But for some reason, I guess I just never think about it until it's the time to think about it in the moment.
And that's when it takes 25 minutes to air it up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in today. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock for the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark. And tonight we'll do it at 9. No, we're doing it at 9. Hey,
what's better for our viewers?
No matter what I think it's really time for me to go.
Time for you to go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
9 o'clock tonight.
Let's get out of here.
9 o'clock this morning. It's 9 every day, a.m., p.m. It's the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark at 9 a.m. It's the Phee Smee live at 9 p.m.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all have a great day, and God bless you.
God bless you.